Do you know what he cut himself with?
He said one of the steak knives.
A woman who police say was playing the role of grieving wife for years after she found her husband dead in 2020.
You haven't put your hands behind your back, Heather?
What do I have a warrant for?
For homicide.
Now, 5 years later, she's been arrested and charged with murder. We have the newly released Bodycam and police interview videos that go all the way back to when police first suspected her roughly 5 years ago.
I think you know what happened.
I did not do this. I did not see this happen.
To what she said to police this year when they said she was going to be charged with murder.
This is your time to tell me why.
I'm gonna need an attorney.
And perhaps the biggest twist in this story, from the time of her husband's death in 2020 to when police arrested her this year, roughly 5 years later, she was teaching 3rd grade in a school district that didn't know that she was a suspect for allegedly killing her husband. We're on the case presented by Law&Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. This is a shocking story out of Farmington, New Mexico. We just received a ton of content showing what prosecutors have in their case against a woman they say killed her husband, but then tried to cover it up for roughly 5 years. This is Heather Fernandez Hoefer being arrested on April 1st, 2025 for the alleged November 2020 murder of her husband. According to Facebook, on September 5th, 2020, she married Robert Hoefer. Here's a picture of the two on their wedding day. The happy couple got hitched at the local VFW in Farmington, New Mexico. And it seemed like they were really in love. At least that's what we saw on social media. Robert wrote on Facebook, "I married the most compassionate and kind woman I have ever met today. Truly a lovely and caring woman. I also gained a grandson and 3 amazing stepsons. I am a very happy man." And Heather made sure to comment with a sticker that said, "Love you." But then came November 29th, 2020. That's not even 3 months after that seemingly happy wedding day. Heather called 911.
Tell me exactly what happened.
I came into my room and my husband, I think he died. I think he's on the floor. I mean, I know he's on the floor. I think he's dead. Come on, honey, wake up. He's cold. He's cold.
That 911 call was made at 5:30 in the morning. Heather claimed she made a horrifying discovery in their bedroom that Robert was dead on the floor. Now, before we get to the body cam video that we have of what officers saw when they responded, I want you to hear more of what Heather tells the dispatcher.
Do you think he's beyond any help?
Yeah, I do. I do. Come on, babe, wake up, babe.
My partner
Babe, wake
is
up.
sending someone to assist you. Please let
Honey,
me
wake
leave
up. Honey,
everything
wake
as
up.
you found it. I'm going to stay on the line with you until they get there, okay?
She's dead. She's dead. Babe, wake up. Babe, wake up.
What is your name,
Wake
ma'am?
up. Hold on, I can't hear you. Hold on, let me put you on speaker.
No, you're fine.
Babe, come on. Come on. Come on, babe, wake up.
If you want, ma'am,
Yes.
if you want to try, I can give you CPR instructions.
No.
But if you think he's beyond any help,
Come send somebody now, please.
ma'am,
Hurry.
they're on their way. What is your name?
Heather Hoefer.
Heather. They are
Yes.
headed that way, and I'm going to stay on the line with you until they get there, okay?
Okay.
Now, you might have picked up on this already, but between the cries of "Babe, wake up" by Heather, the dispatcher asks if she thinks her husband is beyond needing help, to which she is very direct and says yes. Then the dispatcher asks if she'd like to try CPR, and she says no. This is one of the first suspicious parts of Heather's story. The dispatcher also asks what she thinks happened.
Has he been sick?
Well, he injured himself
When was this?
this evening.
How did he injure himself?
He got mad. Babe, come on, babe, wake up, babe.
How
wake
did
up.
he injure himself?
He cut himself.
How did he cut himself?
Listen to me. Babe, wake up, honey, please wake up. Honey, please wake up. You can't do this to me.
Heather, if you think he's gone and there's no help, I need for you to walk out of that room and leave him alone, especially if you think this is going to be a... Are you telling me this is a suicide now?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
About 9 minutes after that 911 call started, police officers arrived. Here's what they saw. We are blurring the area where Robert's body is on the floor and where there was a lot of blood on the bed.
Ma'am, did you see what happened? Where's the blood coming from on him? On his chest?
And I fell asleep on the couch and I came in here and he was on the floor. He was on...
Okay. Ma'am, can you watch out? I just need to check his pulse.
He's cold.
He's cold?
Cold.
When did you last see him?
About 3. And I came in just now. And I guess he'd gotten his razor out. I don't know what he did. I don't know.
Heather told the dispatcher that Robert had hurt himself the night before, but in person she says maybe he cut himself with a razor or potentially he even overdosed on pills. That is more detail than she gave in the 911 call. Also notice in the bedroom how officers have to tell her to stop touching possible evidence.
Do you know what he cut himself with?
He said one of the steak knives, but I couldn't have...
Okay, let's not go reaching around. I just don't want you to get cut, ma'am, in case it's sitting around here.
Say again?
I don't want you reaching around just in case you get cut, okay?
Was he suicidal?
Not that I know of.
Was he laying here in bed and you moved him over off the ground?
And when I got up...
Back here, Sarge. Oh, am I?
No.
We're not sure. She said he cut himself earlier in the night. Had been in bed in here, and then she came over, pulled him off the bed, took his shirt off. No, the lacerations I'm seeing are deep enough and have a lot of blood protruding, but...
That's the thing.
I don't know.
That's what I told him. It's not deep. They were deep. They're not deep enough to kill him.
What medication does he take, ma'am? Or this is medication up here?
Was he said that he was cutting because it hurt, or he said it hurt because he cut it?
4106, do you have contact with the Leadership Park officer?
I can't. I don't know if he took all his pills. I don't know. I don't know.
It's okay. Take your time.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's why I'm calling him back.
I can't admit he was on the floor.
Is there a way to get her in the living room?
Yeah, we can try that.
Yeah.
How old is he?
49.
49.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. No,
It's okay.
don't.
Ma'am, we're going to assist you out to the living room, okay?
What happened?
Take some deep breaths. Is there anything we can get you, ma'am?
I don't want him to be like that, and I know he's...
We're going to take care of him, ma'am. We're going to respect him and we're going to take care of him for you.
The 106, I believe they're pulling up right now. 106, tempo.
So am I for that. Okay.
I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I don't know what he did. I don't know.
It's okay.
We're going to have somebody come and look at him, but we're going to try and move him to a more accessible place right here, right outside the door.
You should have tried moving him when you're 4'11".
What's that?
You should have tried flipping him over when when I'm 4'11".
Oh,
He
yeah.
was laying on his... He was on my computer, face down.
Okay.
And I rolled him over, and then and he's cold.
Is there any way that I can get you to step out and we're going to end up coming out that way? Or do you want to wait until we move him? It's up to you. You can stay with him. It's just... I see he's wearing these compression socks. Does he have some medical conditions? Blood clots in his legs? Okay. Did he complain at all about any like feeling of pain or anywhere in his body?
I don't know what he did, you guys. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did.
Like I said, we're going to have somebody come and check him out. That way, you know, they can front and back look at him more thoroughly, okay?
I don't know.
At this point, there's no way of us
I don't
knowing.
know.
Ma'am, I'll give you a minute to say goodbye to him, but we'll have to move you out, okay, so we can conduct our investigation.
The story that Heather gives detectives is that she and Robert were in a computer room the night before. Robert asked Heather to warm up some pie in the kitchen as he was playing video games. She suggests that Robert must have stabbed himself with a steak knife from the kitchen when she wasn't looking. Here is Heather showing the officer where the steak knives are in the kitchen, and you can see all of them are still in the knife block where they're supposed to be.
These are the knives. These are the steak knives.
Okay, we'll check them. We'll take a look at them.
I didn't see any of them gone.
I don't see any of them missing. Is the knife back here?
She said this is her mistake.
It could be anywhere.
Now you saw the detective make a walk from the kitchen to this computer room where Heather said they were the night that Robert died. Detectives would later say it would be nearly impossible for someone to stab themselves with a kitchen knife in the way that the autopsy showed Robert was stabbed, then walk back to the kitchen and put the knife away with wounds that were deep enough to bleed out as Robert did.
Does he keep his knives in any drawers or anything like that, ma'am?
No.
And do you know if it was in here where he ended up possibly hurting himself, or what had happened exactly, Heather?
Yeah. Well, we were going to bed, and he was like, "It hurts, it hurts." And I put him in bed, and
And you didn't, is there any cut marks on him at that time?
I didn't notice any at that time, and then I went a little later, and he was like, "It hurts." There was blood on his. I was like, of course, I said dirty words. What the did you do?
Did this happen whenever you were moving him on your shirt? You have some of this.
I'm sure it happened when I moved him. Or when I took I took it off of him and I cleaned it up.
He was wearing a shirt.
And again, I can't find it. He was wearing a shirt and a jacket.
So with all that said, and I'm just going to kind of warn you ahead of time, they're going to probably collect your shirt and take pictures of you and your hands. Just because
I didn't do anything.
It's okay.
Listen,
it's just procedure.
I didn't do anything.
And I just wanted to warn you ahead of time. They're going to get here. I don't want you to be surprised by anything that happens, okay? Their investigation is going to be very thorough. And they're going to ask you questions and just kind of try and get a timeline to get there. We do need to find the shirt. We do need to find the jacket.
I was looking for that.
If we can touch as minimal things as possible.
Another interesting part of Heather's story is that she claimed that Robert didn't say anything about a stab wound when he ate pie, but only when they went to bed later in the room where he was found. She also said that she cleaned Robert's body before they went to sleep, and she went to sleep in another room. She said she did that because Robert wet the bed. Police say that story, for a lot of reasons, didn't really add up. So they brought Heather to the police station in 2020 for an interview. Here's what she told them when they confronted her about holes in the narrative she was giving.
You're saying, though, that he was complaining of pain as you're going to bed. Okay.
I know I failed. I know that.
Well, so my concern, ma'am, obviously is this is not normal.
I know.
Even for a suicide, this is a little strange. If that's what we're calling it. If we're calling it a suicide, it's strange. And things don't add up and I'll tell you why they're not adding up to me, okay? Because he was happy, according to you. You guys are happy. There were no signs of any unhappiness or any suicidal ideations or anything like that. He didn't mention to anybody. From all accounts, everybody thought that he's pretty happy.
Yes.
And even if he was hiding something from you, you guys said that, the conversation you had earlier in the evening is that you found your person, you found that special someone in your life. And he even said that, right? He said that to you. Okay? So obviously you meant a lot to him. I don't, we do a lot of these death investigations, and some of them are suicides, and when somebody means a lot to somebody else, often they'll leave a note, okay? We're not seeing one, we don't see a note, we don't see any reason why he would do this.
I know,
So
how do you think I feel?
So that doesn't make a lot of sense to us, okay? And then the way it happened doesn't make a lot of sense either, okay? He has stab wounds to his upper chest area. So that's strange to us. We don't know where the weapon is that was used.
One of the guys found it.
How do you know that's it, though?
Oh, well, I don't know. I thought that's what he said.
Okay.
So.
I mean, you said steak knife because he told you steak knife.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to jump to any
Right.
conclusions here, but we don't know. And why if he did that to himself, would he hide it or put it away somewhere? That just doesn't make sense, right? Okay, so there's all these things that are not.
I know. How do you think I feel?
And then on top of that, you check in on him, and he's obviously has something wrong with him. He's not completely coherent. Of course, that could be chalked up to some of the drinking, but that could also be chalked up to he has a major injury. And nothing's done. We don't know. Nobody calls an ambulance. Nobody follows up and says there should be something. Even if, at the very least, ma'am, you got to look at this.
I understand. I know. I failed.
I'm not saying that anybody failed. I'm just saying that
it looks messed up.
Yeah,
I understand. Please, no, I understand.
Even if these injuries, and we don't know the extent of these injuries, maybe these injuries are superficial, I don't know. But even if those injuries are superficial, at the very least, it's a cry for help if he did this to himself, right? And as a teacher, one of the things you're taught to look for is, like, even with students that are crying out for help and stuff like that, they should, you know what I mean?
I know.
That's a warning sign. So I have some major concerns with that. I have some major concerns that you cleaned him up and took that shirt off and cleaned him up, and then leave him that time again too. That would have been the perfect time to call someone.
I know. I told you. I know.
Okay. So that's some of the biggest concerns, is that his body's been manipulated in some form or way. The weapon that was used in this has been manipulated in some sort of way. I don't think you're a bad person. Okay? I can tell in your eyes that you're
But you think I did?
a good person. But things are not adding up. I think you have more to tell me, right?
I don't have anything else to say. I have nothing left. I've told you all I have.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing left. Nothing.
Okay. One of the things, we have a responsibility, not just to you and to your husband, to make sure that we do this correctly, but we have an obligation to his family too.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And honestly, I just want to know. I want to know what happened to him.
I do too.
I think you do know. Honestly, I think you know what happened.
I didn't do this.
And if you do know what happened, let's just hear me out. I think you know what happened, and
I did not do this. I did not see this happen. I did not do this. I'm not a bad person. I'm not.
I mean, it doesn't make sense.
He's 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
How would I be able to hurt him like that?
I don't know, but that's what I'm trying to figure out. Everything I've seen, it's from what I'm seeing, I don't think this is self-inflicted.
You think I did this?
I have not. I haven't come out and said that to you.
Police say eventually Heather asked for a lawyer. She didn't answer any more questions. We also do want to note that there were other people in the house at the time of the stabbing. Heather's son and his fiance, as well as some young children they had. Now, even though Heather claimed to be confused about how any of this would happen and that she and Robert never fought, this was a happy new marriage. Police say the evidence proved otherwise. We'll get into the cell phone data in just a moment, but it's also important to talk about the autopsy because that showed 3 stab wounds to the chest killed Robert. And Heather claimed she didn't think his wounds were that deep. Remember, she said she gave him some sort of like sponge bath before they went to bed. The medical examiner, though, says those wounds broke through the chest cavity. Police say the injuries were the kind that someone definitely would have noticed and definitely would have said something about. Then came the cell phone records. Those showed text messages of a recent argument between the couple concerning money. Robert was unemployed and Heather was the sole provider. And on top of Robert, she also allegedly was footing the bill for her son, his future wife, and their 2 small grandchildren who she claimed were in the house the night that Robert died. You've heard what Heather believes happened. Here's what police say happened. They say that Robert was stabbed in the couple's bed and not on the floor as Heather claims to have found him. Most of the blood was located on the bed itself. As for the washing of the body that she said she did prior to his death, before she said the couple went to sleep, police say the evidence shows that that must have happened after Robert died. Even though police were suspicious of Heather from the start, like you saw in that police interview in 2020, it wasn't until April 1st, 2025, she was arrested. Here's that moment on body cam video.
You have an put your hands behind your back, Heather?
What do I have a warrant for?
For homicide. You have the right to remain silent. Any statements made by you may be used against you in court. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you free of charge. You have the right to consult an attorney.
Can I call my mom real quick?
Before we get to the next piece of this investigation, we have to talk about a shocking twist that we came upon in originally reporting this story, because Heather worked as a 3rd grade teacher at the local elementary school, the public school, right near her house. Her name is no longer on the school's directory. I did reach out to the district, though, to see if she had continued to teach in the years after her husband's death. Even though she had not been charged, when you read the police reports and you watch the body cam video, you hear the 911 call, the police interviews, it appears that she was a suspect from the very beginning. We also saw on Facebook that she posted several pictures in the years after Robert's death, including this one, which appears to be in a classroom. We also want to note she changed her relationship status to single on Facebook. We wanted to know if she had been teaching elementary school kids in the roughly 5 years since her husband was allegedly murdered. I reached out to the Farmington Municipal School District and they told me she's now on administrative leave, but that she was actively teaching until April 1st, 2025, the day of her arrest. The district said they had no idea that she was ever suspected of murder. After her arrest, Heather was brought to the police station, and the same detective who interviewed her in that video you saw from 2020 told her in 2025 she is officially accused of murder.
So, Ms. Fernandez, you've been advised of your rights.
Correct.
Do you know why you're here?
Just no.
Okay. So, the last time you and I talked was back in 2020. This has to do with your husband,
Yes.
Robert.
Yes.
Okay. So, we've completed our investigation. It took some time because we had a lot to process. But our investigation, from what we have, we know what happened, okay? And this is your opportunity to tell us the truth about what happened, okay? Because what you told me last time, none of the evidence that we processed matches with what you're telling us. So I know what happened to Robert. I just don't know why it happened to him. This is your time to tell me why.
I'm going to need an attorney.
Okay.
After that conversation, Heather sits in that interview room for a couple of minutes in silence. Then an officer comes in to take her to jail.
I'm going to need to use my phone to call my mom because
Yeah,
she won't.
They can let you do all that.
Okay, you know what I mean? You know how older people, it's like, I don't know the number, I'm not going to answer.
Yeah.
But if I call.
And it's not like you get one phone call. It's not like.
I know, but I've got to.
So, did you want to put your jacket on? It's up to you.
I want to cry.
I'm not going to try to make you cry.
I want to cry. I want to scream. I want to throw a fit. I'm scared.
Yeah. It makes sense. It's not my job to make that worse right now.
Oh, I know.
So I'm going to do my best not to.
Okay.
Ready?
No, not really.
Relatively. Do you have shoulder issues?
Nah, I'm just fat.
Okay.
Heather Fernandez Hoefer is facing a count of second-degree murder and a count of tampering with evidence in the death of her husband, Robert. She is scheduled to be arraigned on those charges in June in district court in Farmington, New Mexico. That will do it for On the Case, presented by Law&Crime. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify. I'm Chris Stewart. We'll see you next time.